Hello, gorgeous people. How are you? Today I'm talking about Anthony de Mello. If you know him, good. If you don't know him, better, because it's somebody who you should know. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. When I'm running, I listen to audiobooks sometimes, and I've just downloaded Anthony de Mello's audiobook, one of the few that are in English on Audible, and it's beautiful to listen to. And this guy lived in the 80s. He died quite early. I think that they made sure. I think it was assisted suicide, and because he was so awake, because he had such a powerful message. So Anthony de Mello's message in general was wake up. Yeah, he wanted people to wake up, and he always talked about waking up from the hypnosis. So he was really, really ahead of his time, and he was connected to he was a Jesuit. He was connected to the Catholic Church. He was very linked to organized religion, and yet he'd completely woken up to it. And he was no fool to what was going on. So I wanted to get the emissary's opinion on Anthony de Mello, and it was kind of like, what was he doing? Why was he there so long ago? What was he doing? And what they were saying was that Anthony de Mello was a seed sower, okay? And they were saying that there have been many, many, many seed sowers in the past, in many different guises, sort of people perhaps that you wouldn't imagine were seed sowers, and they were. And they were placed there, and they've been brought there to sow the seeds. And I said, but why so long ago? We probably need them now. And they said, no, that's not the way that the seasons work. The seed sower has to come much, much earlier. And I suppose, when you think about the cycles, the seeds are sown here in Spain. The seeds are sown in October. And they actually go through the winter, and not much happens. In fact, you sow the seeds and you don't see anything. Nothing happens at all. Just barren land. And then suddenly there's a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun, and a little bit of, a thunderstorm, lightning, all that we're seeing now. And suddenly the crops start growing. And that's what their job was. Their job was just to sow the seeds without really seeing anything come from it. And I remember that Anthony de Mello talked about his conferences that he did with hundreds of people, if not thousands. And he said, if I'm lucky, 1 or 2 people will wake up this weekend based on what I've said. If I'm lucky. But normally nobody. Right? And that was back in the 80s. And that's absolutely the way it used to be. But I think his job wasn't to wake people up. His job was to sow the seeds in readiness, so that when they came to fruition, then other events can happen. Because I believe that we are getting, if we looked at the seasons, so we're way out of spring now. They've been sown, the seeds have been sown a long time ago. And I think that we're kind of heading toward the harvest. That's the feeling that I get. We're heading toward the harvest. At some point, the harvest is going to be taken in. And, it's separating the wheat from the chaff and all of that. That sort of idea. I think we're heading toward that fairly quickly. But I wanted to talk about one thing that Anthony de Mello really focused on. It was a principal purpose of his life and his work, was about the idea of attachments to things and dropping attachments. And what his message was that as long as you're attached to something, you will never be happy. In fact, you can't ever be happy if you have an attachment to something. So what he meant by that is that when you're attached, let's just say to your job, okay, or to your wife, to your husband, when you're attached to that person, what happens inside is you say, I cannot be happy unless I have this person with me. Now, let's say you're in a fantastic marriage and that person's never going to leave you. That still doesn't allow you to be happy. Why? Because in the back of your mind, you've always got the worry that you could lose them, in other ways. And so being attached, as in attached to my happiness depends on this, that takes away your happiness. So the only time that you can truly be happy is when you drop your attachments. And this is what Anthony de Mello talks about all the time, dropping your attachments. It's actually dropping your illusions. That's all that you're doing. We believe that our happiness depends on somebody or something. And yet it's an illusion, because our happiness has nothing to do with it. When you get something that you've really wanted, new car, new house, new job, new wife, new husband, when you get it, you have a moment of excitement, a moment of feeling good. That's not happiness. That's the I have got what it was that I wanted. But that lasts very little time. It's a very short space of time. This is why today we have people who do retail therapy. And that is, they go and buy something to get that feeling that lasts this long. And sometimes by the time that they've arrived back home, that feeling's gone. It's gone. Yeah. I've noticed this, if we get a car, new, I never buy a new car, but a car that's new to us, when I stand it outside, I see it for the first 2-3 days. I see the car. Oh, look, new car. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. After 3 days, I don't see it anymore. It disappears. I've normalized it. There's no feeling that comes from the car. And it's the same, no matter how much you get, that feeling doesn't last, because that's not happiness. Okay? I read something about a millionaire, and they asked him, what did you decide when what did you do when you reached your first million? He said, well, I made a plan to get another million. And that's the trick of the devil, I suppose, because remember, the devil was given the earth, was he not? If you believe that sort of thing. I just get a sense that this is the case, He was given the earth, and the only thing that he can offer you is power and money. That's all. That's what he offered Jesus, didn't he, when he was in the wilderness, 40 days without eating. Yeah, power, money. That is all that the devil has to offer. He's got very limited fare, and he can do it in lots of different ways, but at the end of the day, it's always power and money. And neither of them, you look at all of the people who have signed the contract with him to do his work, you look at them, none of them are happy. The sense that I get when I look at these people, they're miserable as fuck. Why? Because power and money does not make you happy. And then you have to do his work as well, which makes you less happy. So, happiness is not linked to possessions. And that's why being attached to things only creates stress and disappointment and fear. Yeah. The secret is that happiness, just so you know, happiness, you already have it, and you've always had it. Children are born into this world happy, and then we beat the shit out of them. Society beats the shit out of them until they stop being happy and they start worrying about what they haven't got. But we're intrinsically happy. So actually what happens when you drop your attachments is that you automatically become happy, because the happiness is allowed to be free. It's not subsumed or covered over by concerns and worries and anxiety. So a little tip for you to help you to drop attachments. It's a little word tip. Think about the amount of times that you use the word need in your vocabulary when you're talking. What do you need? Oh, I need some bread, and I need some meat, and I need to get a new job. I need a new house. Okay? My suggestion is that you drop the word need from your vocabulary and change it. If you want to, you can change it to want. Okay? That's a good step. It's not the ideal step. Okay? The ideal step is that when you get good at this, then you just give thanks for what's coming. Thank you for the new car. Yeah. Thank you for the new job. Thank you for the new house. Right? That's the ultimate step. But let's do this in a progression. So you move away from need. Why? Just so you know. Right. The universe works on abundance. It doesn't work on lack. Okay? It doesn't work with lack. So when you say I need something, what are you saying is that you need it. Therefore, you cannot survive without it. You see, we only have basic needs, don't we? We have need for shelter, need for food, and need for warmth. That's it. That's what we need. All right. All the rest are niceties. All right. They're nice. They're wants. So once you get into that mode, then and you don't use the word need anymore, you're in a much better place. Why? Because the unconscious mind works like this. It's very literal. It listens to every word that you say. When you say, I need a new car, the unconscious mind says, yes, you do. That's it. That's its involvement. Yes, you do. You do need a new car. That's not a request. That's not, you're not requesting anything. You're just stating a fact. I need a new car. Yes, you do. Okay. When you say, I want a new car, I want a new car to come into my life, then you're starting to put a cosmic order in. Now you're starting to order stuff. The unconscious mind says, oh, you want one. And it might start giving you information, then you see stuff, okay? Might start manipulating things, just like the emissaries do, when you give it permission, all right? When you say, I need, you're not giving anything permission. You're not giving the universe permission. When you say, I want, you're giving it permission. However, when you say, thank you for my new car, you are setting all the wheels in motion. Like the universe has no choice but to do that for you, as long as you don't spoil it by then doubting it afterwards. Okay, that's we're just about to get something and then we go, oh, it's taken a long time, maybe it's not going to come. Finished. Okay, so steps to get rid of attachments. Don't use the word need. Come away from need and use want as a starter. Yeah, want. Yeah. And then from there, once you get accustomed to using want, I want this. Say what you want. Yeah. And then just start getting excited about having it and saying thank you for it. That's the next step. But let's keep away. We use need all of the time. We're sold the word need. We all need stuff. And we don't need anything except the very, very basics. And you've already got that. If you listen to me, you've already got what you need. Now let's deal with what you want. Yeah. Have a beautiful weekend, and I would suggest, if you can, get a hold of Anthony de Mello's books. Any of them, they're all lovely, but the special ones are Awareness and I can't remember the title of the other one, but definitely worthwhile reading his material, because he was, now it's 40 years old, but it's as fresh as a daisy. Okay? See you all later. I love you all. Bye-bye.